this webinar, and today we're going to take a look at one of America's fastest growing companies. And I'm assuming that if you're watching this webinar right now, that you're looking for a better way, a better life. Maybe you're looking for some more income, maybe a little bit more time, maybe a little bit of both. And we're going to talk about that today. This is not one of those webinars where you get to the end and you have no clue what you just saw and you didn't gain anything from it. We actually are going to talk about why you should start a home-based business and then what you can expect if you choose to do so. So let's just dive right into it. Again, have you ever watched one of those presentations and they just never seem to get to the point? We've seen the advertisements all over social media, all of these internet gurus that have a so-called secret that your sponsor won't tell you, and their peers are going to blacklist them because they're sharing the secret with outsiders. I'm ashamed to say that I've watched several of those webinars, hoping that there actually was something that I could gain from it. And I kept thinking that, on the next slide, surely they're going to share something that could help me and my family. But you watch it all the way to the end just to realize that this is just a teaser video so that they can collect your information and collect your credit card. So you just gain nothing from it. It was a complete and total waste of your time. This is not that type of webinar. I remember the frustration of watching those types of videos, so I definitely would not do that to you. So let me start out by just telling you just a little bit about me, not because I like to talk about myself, but I want you to know who you're listening to. I think it's important to know who you're dealing with. And first of all, I believe that the truth is always good enough. I'm not a multimillionaire, but I have made a very good living based out of the home for the past 8 years. I've also, though, more important to me, I've made a good life by having a balance of time and income in my life. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you I've got Ferraris in a 40,000 square foot home. I have a very nice home and we have very nice cars, and I've made a great living. But more important to me, I've lived life on my terms. The business didn't own me. I actually own the business. So if you're looking for one of those so-called internet gurus that tells you that you don't need to make any calls, you don't need to do any work, you don't need to talk to any friends or family, I'm not that person. I can tell you that right now. So you might as well go ahead and close off the webinar here. But here's my thought on this. And obviously, I'm not a gifted speaker. I speak from the heart. I don't script. I don't practice. I just speak from the heart. And here's something else from the heart. If you truly believe in what you're doing and you believe that what you're doing is going to make your future brighter than it was before you started doing it, why wouldn't you want to share that with the people that you know, love, and care about first? If I found a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, I'm not going to run an ad on social media and offer to share it with perfect strangers. No, I'm gonna reach out to the ones I know, love, and care about first, and let them share in those riches. So I'm just simply here to tell you how to build a legitimate home-based business built on a solid foundation that'll pay you for generations. And again, a business that you own, not a business that owns you. Okay, let's dive into a little bit of statistical information. AARP stated that half of all baby boomers, that's 76 million people, are interested in starting a business. But what they find is, although they want to and they'd love to, but they find that the average good franchise, which by the way, most of them are taken, the average good franchise cost about $500,000 to start, and a high percentage of those fail in the first 3 years. Forbes also performed a recent survey, and those results stated that 86% of Americans would prefer to work for themselves. That's a huge amount of people, and that's why we're seeing such a massive trend of people opening a home-based business. The startup cost is much lower, and the success rate is much higher. And it also doesn't hurt that tax laws are very generous to those who own a home-based business, although I do not believe that's a good reason to start a home-based business. It's just kind of an added perk, something that you can look forward to, but you need to look for other reasons to start a home business, such as extra income or extra time or a little bit more freedom, something like that. So here's some things to consider. First of all, don't quit your job too fast. Allow your business time to build. Don't put that unnecessary pressure on it too early. Eventually, it's not going to make financial sense for you to go to that job any longer. But wait until you get to that point before you walk away from your job. The second one, and one of the most important ones, be prepared to put in the work. I've lived a great life because of my home-based business, and I have lots of time freedom. But when I work hard. When I work, I'm effective. I'm efficient. I've learned to work smart instead of just working hard. When you combine working hard and working smart, then you can get a lot done in a very small window. Another thing is find a company that offers a product or a service that you can get passionate about. It's your passion that's going to get people to try it. It's not. People think it's price. People think it's what you wear. People think it's having the perfect presentation, not having a hick accent like I've got. They think that it's things that just really don't matter. It's really your passion and your belief in what you're doing and what you have to offer that gets people to take a look. And then make sure that the support and training is offered not only by the company, but also from the person who sponsored you. That's one of the biggest missing ingredients in this industry is somebody who has had success that's willing to take the time to show you how to do what they did, exactly how they did it, without holding anything back. And then lastly, don't even consider a product or a service that doesn't offer residual income. Now, I'm not talking about reorders. I'm talking about true residual income where you do something one time and you get paid over and over again for what you did that one time. So let me ask you a question. If 93% of Americans have a need and you have the best solution to that need, do you think that you could create a successful business? I think that's a pretty easy question to answer, but it sounds almost too good to be true, doesn't it? Well, I can assure you that it's not too good to be true. You just got to know where to look. In America, we're promised equal justice for all, not just for the wealthy, equal justice for all. But the reality is most people are priced out of the justice system. And since they're priced out of the justice system, they usually are subjected to it instead of protected by it. Again, every American should be protected by it, but most people are subjected to it because of the high cost. The cost of legal fees far outweigh the average wage, and this has created a tremendous imbalance in our country today. The same imbalance has happened in this country before. It's not unheard of. The cost of vehicle repair and medical costs now far outweigh the average wage in our country as well. And when we started seeing that imbalance, we created policies to correct that imbalance. Europe and Germany figured out a long time ago that it just makes sense to do the same thing with the legal industry. And that's what we're doing in this country right now. But the good news is the markets may be saturated with automobile insurance and health insurance, but with the legal insurance policies that are now spreading throughout North America, we only currently have a 3% market saturation. So we may have missed the opportunity with auto, we may have missed it with health, but we absolutely do not have to miss this one. So Legal Shield's built a closed panel system of law firms all across the country that cater to our members. Here are some of the benefits that you and your clients will have access to as a member of this closed panel system. First and foremost, the first dot you see there, legal advice and consultation on an unlimited number of family matters. There's a lot of times we would like to consult an attorney and get those questions answered and find out where we stand, what our rights are, but it's usually a financial decision whether we actually do that or not. We take the financial part of that equation out of it. That's on an unlimited number of family matters. We'll also write letters and make phone calls on your behalf on an unlimited number of matters as well. As they consult you and advise you and let you know where you stand, they might feel that a letter or a phone call will help you actually exercise those rights that you have access to, and they'll do that on your behalf. I call them motivational letters. Get people to do what they should have done in the first place. It's unfortunate that we have to get an attorney involved to get people to do what they should have done, but sometimes it's just necessary. We're also going to review all those contracts and documents up to 15 pages. How many things do we sign without reading it and fully understanding it? And how many things do we sign that we don't have an attorney review before you sign it? I think most everything that we sign, because again, it's a financial decision. We'll review every contract and document from this point forward. And of course, 15 pages, if you're buying your own mortgage, we know that it's a lot more pages than that. we'll review those pages unlimited on your own personal mortgage documents. We'll even help prepare some of those documents for you as well. We also have 24/7 emergency access. Our company understands that bad things happen to good people all the time, and it doesn't necessarily always happen from 9 to 5. So in those emergency situations, such as CPS shows up to take your kids, maybe you're in a serious auto accident at midnight on a Sunday night, we have an emergency access system where you can get a law firm on the phone 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year in those emergency traumatic situations. We also have a great library of legal forms and even videos back there that can help answer a lot of your questions. The forms are really nice to have access to at any time. And if you have any question on how to fill them out, again, you get consultation advice on an unlimited number of matters. So you can call and find out. And then after you're done, if you want, you can send it in and have it reviewed as well. But I have found that those videos will answer a lot of the questions that I have. So I've spent a little bit of time here lately just kind of reviewing those videos and some of the topics that interest me and some of the topics that I've had maybe some issues in the past where those videos would have been a huge help for me back then. And I know they'll be a huge help to me in the future as well. Now, probably one of the most important things I'm going to talk to you about here today on this part of the plan is estate planning. About 85% of Americans don't have this done, and it's because it's very expensive and very cumbersome to get done. Well, with this closed panel system, we make it affordable and very easy, smooth process. So we take those two reasons why people don't get it done. We take it out of the equation because your will's not about you dying. It's about the ones that you leave behind living. I want to make that process as smooth as I can for the ones that I leave behind, and I'm sure that you do too. So now that the cost is no longer a factor, let's all get that done. That includes your will, your living will, even your healthcare power of attorney. Now, traffic issues. I used to own an insurance agency, and I would always beg my clients to defend that driving record because your rates are going to go up dramatically if you do not. The attorney's going to charge you money, yes, but you're going to pay extra insurance premiums for years if we don't get this handled and keep it off your record. So regardless of where you're driving, this is nationwide protection. Everything I've talked about so far is nationwide protection. When that happens to you, you just simply fax that moving violation into your law firm, and they're going to let you know what your rights are and what your possible avenues are of resolving that problem. So it's really nice to have access to that regardless of what jurisdiction you got that ticket in. But this one area of protection takes effect 15 days after you enroll. So I'm going to ask you to drive a little extra cautious for the next 15 days, and then this takes effect. Now, another thing regarding the traffic issues, let's say that you are, and by the way, this covers your teenage drivers as well. Let's say that you, your spouse, or one of your teenage drivers is in a serious auto accident, and you're named the at-fault driver. That used to be an accident, but now typically you're brought up on some sort of charge, especially if somebody dies as a result of that accident, such as vehicular homicide or maybe involuntary manslaughter. Those charges are serious, and they can cost hundreds of thousands of dollars to defend, and you definitely want a great attorney defending you because that can be tremendous fines and even prison time in a case like that. So as long as you're driving legally, which means licensed, registered, sober, and insured, we're going to provide the best of the best attorney that specializes in that area of law and that jurisdiction, defend you start to finish in that case. What a refreshing thing to know that if you're actually in an accident, you can have the best of the best help you through every step of that scary situation. Next there, you see trial defense. We're the most litigious society in the history of the world. 200 lawsuits are filed every day in this country, or every minute of every day in this country. And it's created an epidemic in our country today. And the reason it's gotten so bad and got to this point is because it's now cheaper to settle than it is to sue. So everybody's suing everybody, knowing that they're going to get a settlement out of it, even if it never goes to court. Well, with us, you've got a bank of hours where you don't have to settle. You can defend your good name, you can defend your rights, and you can go to battle and use that bank of hours as opposed to your pocketbook to do so. Now, next, this is a newly added coverage to our plan, and we're very excited about this. Just know that you got to be a member for 90 days before this takes effect. But once you've been a member for 90 days, you're going to have access to uncontested divorce, uncontested divorce, adoption, separation, annulment, and name change. And again, all those are uncontested, but as long as they are, that's going to be covered as a part of your plan. Now, IRS audit assistance, obviously that's a hot topic right now, especially with all the identity theft and tax fraud that's going on. You have to prove that you're innocent. They do not have to prove that you're guilty. If you're named in an audit, you're going to have a board certified tax attorney assist you every step of the way. I've had to use that area of the protection. I could not imagine taking on the IRS without having a board certified tax attorney there with me. And then for anything else that I haven't mentioned, maybe a contested divorce or maybe a DWI, something like that, we have built a preferred member discount. So in those cases where you're going to have an attorney anyways, you will never have to pay full price for an attorney ever again. But just know that on average, 90% of our inquiries are 100% covered under the plan with no additional fees. So if you were my attorney and I wanted all of these services for me and my family, which includes all the covered family members, include you as the member spouse, never married children that live at home up to the age of 26, dependent children of whom you become guardian of up to the age of 18, full-time college students never married up to the age of 26, and physically or mentally disabled children living at home. They're covered for life. They'll never have to own their own. You think a physically or mentally disabled child might need an attorney sometime in their lifetime? Absolutely. They'll need them many times. Our company realizes that and they understand that, so they allow them to be a part of your membership for their entire life. So if all of those covered family members wanted this protection nationwide and all of the coverages that we talked about, how much would you have to charge for this if you owned a law firm? It's really hard to come up with a number in it because that's a lot of services. You don't know how much we're going to use it. You don't know how often we're going to be calling in, but I can tell you that I've asked this question to actual attorneys, and most of the time they're going to tell you that's a stupid question. You couldn't afford it. Okay. So as life gets more complicated, our membership evolves to protect our members. About 10 years ago, we partnered up with a great company by the name of Kroll. That's Kroll. They're the leading risk management company in the world. And as a member of Legal Shield, you exclusively have the opportunity to purchase their identity theft protection. Identity theft's been the number one consumer complaint for 14 consecutive years. It'll be 15 here real soon. The report just hasn't came out yet. But because of this, it's also become one of the fastest growing protection policies in our country today as well. So if you know it's gonna happen to you statistically, it just makes sense to have the leading risk management company in the world protect your name and your family's good name, as opposed to somebody you see on TV, commercial or an infomercial. So as a member, you have this protection for you and your family, not only exclusively, but also at an exclusive rate. And as an associate, you can also offer this to potential clients. So I won't dive into everything that this does because we just simply don't have time, but here's a few things that I do want you to know about our policy. Number one, it's not just about credit. Only a small percentage of identity theft falls into the financial category. So it's not simply about credit. Our policy monitors your credit reports like everybody else, but it also proactively searches other databases for misuse of your information. Our policy, most importantly though, offers complete and total restoration back to pre-theft status until you, the customer, are 100% satisfied in the event that any of your areas of identity have been compromised. Our policy, combined with our legal plan, puts a complete wall of protection around your family. Notice the parentheses there. Identity theft can turn into a very serious legal situations, and a lot of times it does. So that complete wall around your family, when it happens to you, will be priceless in your time of need. So as an added benefit to our members, we've partnered with these great companies for some more additional discounts on top of what we've already talked about. Office Depot, Dell, HP, National Enterprise, Quicken Loans, Vehicle Advantage, Super Shuttle, and CLC Lodging. I don't have time to go through all these, but I do want to mention CLC Lodging real quick. I use that quite often since I've had access to that benefit. And just last year alone, that one card saved me a little over $3,000 on hotel stays for trips I was going to take anyways. So it saved me $3,000 to the destinations I was going to go, the places I was going to stay, just because of the deep discounts that we get as a CLC Lodging member. And here's the great news. All of this sounds like a lot, and it is a lot, but that can also be a scary situation when it comes to your pocketbook. Because of the power in numbers, we were able to offer all of this for less than $30 a month. I think that's pretty incredible. I've actually been a member of this service for over 14 years, and it's been my full-time career for the last 8. So how could this benefit you from an income standpoint? Obviously, it's benefited me for the last 8 years, but we're not here to talk about me. How could it benefit you? Well, let's talk about a little survey that was done just here very recently, and it was performed by Decision Analyst Inc. A few months back. Here's what they found based off of the survey that they did. 93% of respondents believe that attorneys charge too much. 76% of those were hesitant to call an attorney. I'm sure cost had a lot to do with that. 9 out of 10 said that if costs were more affordable, they would seek legal advice. Nearly 90% of Americans say they do not have any form of legal insurance or legal protection service. 2/3 say that they have never even heard of such a plan or service. More than 60% said that they would be interested in purchasing legal protection right now if they only knew it existed. That creates a perfect storm for a business standpoint. So simply, you just let them know that the service exists. If they enroll, you get paid. It's as simple as that. Okay, here are a few things, a few different sectors, I should say, that you can offer this program. Obviously, you do one-on-one. You can also offer this through employee benefits. This is one of the most sought after employee benefits in our country today right now, actually. You can offer identity theft as a standalone service, but again, the legal protection coupled with that is what makes it so powerful. And then we have specialty plans. You know, some careers in our country today offer some very unique challenges. We offer very unique solutions for those challenges, such as a foster parent plan, a law officer plan, a teacher plan, things like that. All these plans, CDLP plan for truck drivers, these are designed to help protect and grow these people that have those very specific needs. We have very specific solutions. And then we also have a small business division that's just out of this world. That's actually the plan that I've owned for 14 years. It just helps protect and grow businesses and saves them a tremendous amount of money. Legal Shield also allows you to recruit other associates if you choose to. You don't have to. But what our company realized back in the 80s is the best person to tell others about this membership are the people who already own it. So they opened up this recruiting division where you can bring other associates on board and help them get started. So you just simply show them that the profession that Legal Shield has to offer exists. You help them get started, and you earn a percentage of their sales from that point forward. You can also offer these plans full-time, part-time, or spare time. There's no quotas. There's no amount of time you have to put in daily, weekly, or monthly. It's totally up to you. It's your business to run. And here are some examples of how you can get the information to potential prospects. First and foremost, you have associate websites that are very powerful, videos, lots of good stuff to read. They can actually even enroll on this site. So if you call a potential prospect in California and you live in Florida, that person gets on your website, they like what they see, they decide to enroll, you've earned a commission, and the website done most of the work for you. We also have corporate websites to help grow and track your book of business, and also to help grow and track the associate sales force that you'll be building as well if you choose to do so. We also have a social media feed. This is incredible because social media is obviously became a big part of the business world today. And to have professional feeds sent to you that you can share on your accounts where they're professionally made, they got great information, great content, they're proven to get results, they're going to feed those to you. All you simply got to do is just post those feeds and get some results from that. We also have videos that people can watch and very comprehensive. That'll explain everything start to finish. We have conference calls, we got flip books, we got open houses, and we also have luncheon presentations where you can bring somebody to lunch, get the information to them that way. And again, if they choose to enroll, somebody else done the work, but you get the commission. So let's take a look at the income that can be earned by offering these plans. These numbers, I just want to tell you up front, these numbers are based off the most popular plan package that we offer. So let's just pull that up real quick. Here's the 3 main ways that you can get paid. First, there you see commissions. Those range from $76 all the way up to $279, and you can also see that on the chart to the side from top to bottom, $76 all the way up to $279. Now, what the companies did is they've set up certain production milestones. And once you reach that milestone, you just automatically get an incremental raise because you reach that new milestone. And all the business you write from that point forward, you'll get paid at the higher commission rate. Also, we get overridden commissions. Those range from $38 all the way up to $202. That's the associate sales force that you're going to build. That's the portion of their business that you'll get for sharing the profession with them, helping them get started, and all those things. Here's the great news, though. Residual on all of that business, not just the business, your book of business, but the book of business of your entire sales force. I love that part about this business, that it's not all about you. As a matter of fact, the more people you help, truly, the better off you'll be. So it makes it not all about you. It takes some of the pressure off. It makes it a whole lot more fun, and a lot more people are able to be successful because they financially entice you to help those that you bring on board. I just love that about this company and this business model. So we also offer residual income in a few unheard of generous ways. Again, on your book of business, on your sales book of business, but also residuals that you can leave behind. This is the thing that got me to walk away from my multi-million-dollar real estate company and do this full time. Because if I had anything to leave behind to my family when my time came, it would be a headache. With this, I can leave my book of business to my family for generations, and they're still going to be getting paid off of my efforts that I'm doing right now today. And, I talk to a lot of people out in the market today, and one of the greatest concerns I get from people out there is that they're scared to death that they're not going to have the money to pay for their kids' college. And I'm able to look at it a little bit differently because of this unique business model and this generous compensation plan. I just wonder how many generations of my grandkids am I going to be paying for their college? And that's an incredible mindset to have each and every day when you get up and you go to work. It just gives you a little bit more pep in your step. So think about that. Most jobs or businesses, when you're no longer able to work, you're no longer able to perform, the income stops. But Legal Shield allows you to will that business for generations, even after you're gone, even after your spouse is gone. It continues to pay your family. That can absolutely change your family tree. Now, to get access to this compensation plan, all the tools that you'll need to launch a successful career with Legal Shield, including getting your websites built and all those things, your one-time investment is $149. That's all there is to it. There's no hidden fees unless you live in a state that requires a license, and there might be a fee that you have to pay to the state. But as far as Legal Shield is concerned, that's it. That starts your career, and since that's a one-time fee, you'll never have to pay that again. So as you use tools to grow your business and write business, they'll replenish those tools based off the business that you're writing. So this is a one-time fee that'll carry you the rest of your career. So that small investment, just think about where you could be 5 years from now if you invest $149 in yourself today. Okay, here's a few other things that we offer, promotions and incentives that just help create momentum in your business, not just for your business, but also for your sales force. These are some of the things that you can qualify for as an associate with our company. You can qualify for bonuses, incentives, promotions, and even all-inclusive trips, which are just amazing, by the way. You can also qualify for a $300 bonus, which equals $3,600 a year once you qualify for that bonus, or you can choose to participate in our BMW program, and they'll increase that to $500 monthly or $6,000 a year. Yes, you did hear that right. They'll pay you $500 a month to drive a BMW. My wife drives a really nice twin-turbo X5 diesel. She loves the car, and I love that the company pays for that car. So at this point, I'm not going to say that you only have a few more minutes or this offer is going to expire like we've seen on those other presentations, or you're going to be left out. All this fear of loss and all these things, all these tricks that these so-called gurus pay, most of them couldn't rub two nickels together on a bet. This is a legitimate business that's been here for over 40 years, and it's here to stay. It's not going anywhere. So all I'm going to ask you to do is just fill the questionnaire out that's somewhere on this page. I don't know if it's on the top or the side or the bottom, but somewhere on this page, you'll see just a short questionnaire. Let me know your interest level. If you have any questions, things like that. If you have no interest, you won't hear from me at all. I'll immediately take you off the list. It's done. I thank you for taking a look anyways. Believe me, it's okay. I think you would agree with me that what you saw today is great information, even if you don't get started. So with that said, as you hear people that are struggling financially, as you hear people that have a legal or an identity theft issue, I would certainly appreciate if you would send them to us. And then if you do have an interest level, obviously, I'll just help direct you to the next step. So with that, this presentation is done. It's closed. It's finished. And I thank you for your time.